Welcome into Nebraska Shoot Around. Anna Bellinghausen and Drake Keeler alongside with you to give you all the updates on Nebraska women's basketball. Drake, this is a 10-3 Nebraska team. I think it's a very exciting one to watch, and they're starting off 2-0 in conference play with wins over Michigan State and then most recently Maryland. Drake, 87-81 win at home against the Terps. What stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, what a start for the team in conference play. Go on the road, beat Michigan State, obviously a legit Spartans team that also challenged Iowa the other night. Obviously, everyone saw the end of that one. But yeah, going on to Maryland, that was a big win. They had their first ever win over the Terrapins last year on the road, wanted to get one at home, and that's what they did. Maryland's, they're a team that's, still feels like they're really figuring out some things. They got transfers in the mix, had lost Diamond Miller to the pros and, had a lot of personnel changes. So they're figuring things out. But that's a good team. It's a big team, big win to get and always will be, probably should definitely be a tournament team. And yeah, I mean, Nebraska beat them. They held the lead a lot of that game. They were really physical, won the rebound battle. They played, they competed, and it was a really good win, really exciting to watch.
So 3 players with double doubles. That doesn't happen all too often. Callin Hake off the bench, I think, is one of the coolest stories with 16 points and her learning kind of a new role in the team. I heard she went to a little point guard school with Chaz Shelley. There's a great story about that. But Drake, what did you like from Callin?
Yeah, it has been fascinating to watch just how Callin has grown this year. I think she really showed some flashes last year off the bench in her freshman year. Had a great game against Indiana, is one that stood out. We made a start, I think, against Purdue. And, she played well in those opportunities and kind of, showed flashes being more than kind of just a shooter, which is what maybe some people thought she'd be. But now she's really stepped in that point guard role. Obviously, a great shooter, shooting like 46% from three right now, but also is willing to drive to the rim, just really aggressive. And that's what that's what this team needs off the bench, is someone who's willing to step into that point guard role as she has, and make plays like that. And obviously, and I like how she does it. And it goes like for better or worse sometimes. Sometimes she'll drive into traffic, get stuck, turn it over, throw a pass like way out of bounds. But, I think you still like to see that because, she's trying to create and she's working through that role and she's getting better. Her stats have improved in pretty much just every category this season. So, I mean, it has been fantastic. It is what this team needs to kind of take the next step and get back to the tournament.
For sure. Natalie Potts, the freshman, she's one of those 3 in that double-double stat line, if you will, against Maryland. 17 points, 13 rebounds. Again, just a freshman. I feel like we forget that sometimes because of how talented she is. But what's been impressive about her down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, she has just been Brenda Freeze had high praise for her, just the high motor, and that's exactly what she does, fighting for those offensive rebounds, finishing well around the rim, does a lot of things well. Just still really growing, when you watch her, you can see that, but she's making plays on both ends, really strong as a perimeter defender, made some growth as, an interior defender, still is going to have work to do there. But yeah, she's been really impressive. 17-13, had like 2 steals and a block. So you love what you see there. One of 3 players, the double-double, and that's just alongside Jazz Shelley and Alexis Markowski, who obviously are the leaders of this team and have been great.
Yeah, 2 of the mainstays on this team, Jazz Shelley, Alexis Markowski, veteran leaders as well, been there, done that, but they're still stepping up for their team. Again, double figures against Maryland. How do you feel like they've evolved, though, in their gameplay you've seen this year, Drake?
Yeah, Alexis Markowski, I feel like she's really, taking that leap that, maybe wasn't quite there last year. I think she's averaging like almost 18 points right now, almost 10 rebounds. She's just a much better post player, more efficient inside, and is really going at, these tough matchups. She dominated the boards against Maryland, even if she didn't end up grabbing the rebounds. It seems like she was always, towering above 3 or 4 players, trying to tap it out. And that was really impressive to me. And, she's gone against players like Tiana Jackson at Kansas and Sedona Prince at TCU. And, maybe you say that like she lost those matchups, but she battled with them, right?
Mhm.
And she had good games and she's been really consistent. And you really like to see that, playing more minutes. She's been able to take on that load. And that's been really impressive. Jazz, kind of the shooting numbers still haven't quite been as high. The percentages haven't been quite as high as you want them to be, but she's passing it well, had 11 assists in that win over Maryland. That's big. And, she's creating a lot of opportunities for Markowski and Natalie Potts, and just seeing how this team operates, with her on the floor is just is incredible to watch. I guess like she had a few stints where she was out, and the team would turn it over a couple times. They send her right back in, to kind of steady the offense, and that's what she does. It's why she is, one of like her and Alexis are the top two players on this team.
Yeah, well, Big Ten play continues on. This team is in Madison tonight, 8 p.m. against Wisconsin. Last year, it was an 82-54 home win for Nebraska. Obviously, a dominant performance there. But what needs to happen tonight for Nebraska to come away with the win and start 3-0 in conference play?
Yeah, Wisconsin has really struggled this year. I think they just lost by almost 40 against Purdue. And that was without Sarah Williams, who should be coming back tonight. I feel like has been the vibe. And she's a great player, was a true freshman last year. In that game against Nebraska, I don't know her exact stats, but she had a really good game. She really popped out, when you watch that game. And she is kind of maybe still under the radar in the Big Ten, but she's, one of the better post players in the league, super athletic. And she's going to be super enjoyable to watch. And I think Wisconsin's a team, that has really struggled, but also, I could see them challenging Nebraska if, Nebraska's not on their game. They've got a good guard group, got a good freshman guard. And, I'm really interested to watch this one. Obviously, you want the Huskers to take care of business on the road. But yeah, I think it'll be an interesting matchup.
Well, the Huskers will come back home against Indiana, number 14 team in the nation. That one will surely be a big battle at PBA, and they've been promoting the heck out of this game, trying to pack the stands for that one. And I think it'll be a great crowd considering if a undefeated Big Ten Nebraska team comes in and plays a number 14th ranked Indiana, and it's also Jordan Hooper's jersey retirement. What have been sort of the vibes leading up to this matchup against Indiana? Well-awaited one.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited for it. I think it'll be a big crowd, obviously. I mean, who knows the exact number it'll be being. You hope that it ends up kind of like last year's in that 14K plus range. See if they can get, a sellout, and that'd be really fun. The environment was great for the Iowa game last year, and this is a really good Indiana team, one of the best players in the nation, Mackenzie Holmes. I think that matchup with Alexis Markowski is going to be really fun to watch inside. Indiana's got a lot of great players, and obviously so does Nebraska. And if they were to win tonight and then beat Indiana at home, that would be massive. I mean, they probably. I mean, I guess I haven't really thought it through, but you might look at them making a return to the top 25 at that point. But that. I mean, it should absolutely go and watch it, is what I'm saying.
We will be definitely watching that one, Drake. Thank you so much for the time. This has been the Nebraska Shoot Around, covering all things Nebraska women's basketball.